When it comes to water-fed pole window cleaning, the most important part isn't what pole you've got, what brushes you've got, or even what van you use. The most important thing is the quality of your water. So in today's video, I'm going to go through water filtration. It's just a quick beginner's look at it. I'm going to go through the two main types, which are RO and double DI. I'm going to show you how they fit together, how they work, and then some quick advantages and disadvantages of both systems. So this is an RO system. It's one that I'm refurbing for a friend of mine. It's a lovely little system and got it second hand, so you don't have to spend a fortune on getting set up. So what happens is you plug your hose into your garden tap, house tap, whatever, and it comes in and it comes into your pre-filters. Now these come in all sorts of sizes depending on your system, but what they normally consist of is two pre-filters. You can get them in a one, but more common is to have them in two. And in them is a carbon block filter and a sediment filter. Now the sediment filter takes out all the really fine particulates out of the water, and that stops it clogging your RO up in the future. The carbon block filter they're used for taking out a lot of the chlorine that comes through in your tap water. They also take out smells out of the water if you're just using it for household drinking water. They're quite often used for that. So it comes through that. The chlorine will also kill your membrane. So these are relatively cheap compared to your membrane. So check how often from your manufacturer they need changing and change them, because it will prolong the life of your membrane. So once you come out of your pre-filter, I've got this all set up with John Guest fittings, so they take pressure and they're very reliable. They don't leak very often. It then comes into your RO membrane. Now this one is a 40-21 membrane, so quite often you'll hear people talking about the 40-40 membranes. Those are 40 inches long. This one 21 inches long, half the size. The advantage of this one is you don't need so much high pressure for your water to go through. The bigger the membrane, as a rule of thumb, the more pressure you need going through it. So once it comes out of your membrane, you then have two hoses that come out of that. Your one hose is your feed for your pure water. So that clips in to the middle. With the John Guest, they're really good because they just push fit. The other feed, the other hose that comes out, is for your dirty water. Now, when you're using an RO, so much of the water goes to your product, your pure water, and so much goes down the drain. So about 60% goes down the drain. So you are using a lot of water when you're using an RO. And that fits into the bottom of the outlet. Now, on this, you'll need to fit a tap. You can just get the ordinary twist tap that do it, but these are better because these will let the water run through a specific rate. So this is set for 60-40, so 60% of your water when you adjust it comes out of the waste and 40% goes through your pure water into your next stage. So the next stage is your DI bottle. This is the next stage. Now the DI bottle contains a resin. You always need to keep your eye on your TDS when it comes out. When it comes out of your filter, an RO is supposed to take out 95% out of the impurities. So if you've got your water going in at 200 ppm, parts per million, it will be coming out at 10 parts per million out of the RO. Now that's still a little bit high for cleaning windows, so it goes into the DI bottle, and what that does is they say it polishes the water. That brings your pure water down to 0 parts per million. So from your pure feed, you attach that to your DI bottle. So they're normally just hose lock fittings, and they'll attach onto your DI bottle there. There is a arrow on the DI bottle showing which is the direction of flow. Always make sure you get that right. If you put it the wrong way round, what will happen is it will push the resin out of the DI bottle and you'll get all the little resin beads into your pure water, which you don't really want. And that's basically it. It's that simple. You've got your pure water coming out at the end here. As you get bigger and bigger ROs, you might find you want the water to filter faster. And then you can put on booster pumps. These are easily available. It's a 240 volt pump, and that will boost your pressure up to over 110 psi. And with the ROs, they do like to work under higher pressure. Always specify when you're buying a RO whether you want a high pressure membrane or whether you want a low pressure one. The lower the pressure, the less likely you are to need a booster pump. So that is it. That is that simple. From your tap to your pre-filters with your sediment filter and your carbon block filter, into your RO, and out of your RO comes your pure water. 40% of your water coming out of pure into your DI bottle, and then into your storage tank, into your van, wherever you got it set up. You've also got your 60% of your wastewater, which needs to go down the drain. So if you're filtering in your van, you need to work out how you're going to get rid of your wastewater. What are the advantages and disadvantages with RO? Well, with RO, there are some disadvantages. First of all, it can be quite slow to filter the water. Because it's quite a complicated process, it does have to push its way through this membrane that's in the RO. It can be quite slow coming out. So if you want water quickly, it's maybe not the best. As I said, if you put a booster pump on, that speeds the process up. My RO system with my 4040 is putting out about 200 litres an hour. So, and that's with a booster pump on. If you haven't already seen it, I've got a video on my existing RO system with the booster pump, and it's also got the V11 fill controller from Spring. Now all these things are nice, but they're not essential when you first start off window cleaning. So take a look at that and you'll go on to see what else you can add to your system. So as I said, it can be slow. The other thing is, if you're on a water meter, it does use a lot more water. So as I said, 60% of the water goes to waste, so you're using a lot more water. If you filter 100 litres of pure water, then you have 150 litres of wastewater. So that's 250 litres to make 100 litres of pure water. So if you're on a water meter, your bill could be quite expensive. That could really start to mount up. The other downside about the RO is that it is more expensive to set up. The membranes themselves are coming at over £200. The filters, they're quite cheap compared. £20 or £30 for your filters. Your membrane is over a couple £100, and then you got all your housings. It's a much more expensive setup, and you still need your DI bottle. So that's something else that you have to have when you've got an RO. So that is the disadvantage of that. The advantages are you're getting very pure water at a very reasonable price. So you've got to look at it in the long run. You get in, if you're not on a meter, or even if you are on a meter, a lot of people still think it's worth it. It's costing you fractions of a pence to produce litres of water. It really is efficient, and you get your filters and your everything set up properly. There's very little maintenance on them. You take very little time. You just got to keep your eye on the resin, make sure that doesn't degrade, and your readings start to go up. But with my system, I think I'm only changing the resin once a year, and that lasts me, and that's with pure water for the whole time. So there is very little maintenance on it. So that is a major advantage, and it's a really good system if you need a lot of water. They really work well. So that's the RO system. So now we'll have a quick look at the double DI. Now with the double DI system, you use a lot less water. It literally comes straight from one DI bottle out of that into another DI bottle, and then into your pure water tank. So you've got no waste with a double DI. Unfortunately, I haven't got 2 DI bottles to show you how it works, so you're gonna have to use your imagination. I've got me box here from Streamline that my filters came in for setting up that little system, that little RO system. So this is how it works. So first of all, same as usual, your tap water goes into your DI bottle. That goes into your first DI bottle. Then they're all hose lock fittings, so it's nice and easy, although you can put John Guest on if you want. Comes out of this DI bottle and it will go into your second DI bottle. This is your DI bottle. Out of there, it comes out of there, and it should be coming out as pure water. So what happens is, as the tap water comes in, it degrades the resin in this DI bottle first. Then by the time it comes out, it's much purer, so it goes into this one. So this bottle will last a lot longer. So it comes out of there, comes out pure. Now what you'll need to do is always make sure you're watching your ppm in your tank, your parts per million of impurities, making sure there's probably 5 or below, I'd say. Once it comes out of there, as long as it's 5 or below, you're great to carry on. Now what happens once it starts going up a bit, it's then time to change your resin. If you haven't already seen that, I've got a video on how to change your resin, the easy way to do it. Take a look at that, I'll link that above. And so what you do then is, this one the water's gone into first, that one's going to degrade the most because the most impure water's hitting it. So you empty this one out and refill it with fresh resin. That then becomes your best one. You then move these across, so your one with partly degraded resin becomes the first one it hits. You then attach your feed, your water feed, to this one, so it's already degraded, so when the most chlorine and so when the most impurities hit it, it's not brand new resin that you want to be really good, it's taking the bulk of it out. Go through that, then it goes into your new resin bottle, so that will take your bottle, so that will take all the impurities out. And that's basically how double DI works. Really simple and really effective, but there are problems with double DI. Let's have a talk about what the advantages and the disadvantages are with double DI. DI works really well if you've got really good quality tap water. So if your tap water is coming in at, say, 70 ppm or less, then it's a good way of using it. If it's coming in at higher than that, it's going to really burn through your resin quickly, and you're going to be, every 5 minutes you're going to be changing the resin, so it will work out expensive. Another advantage of the DI is every litre of water that you filter goes into your tank. So if you are on a water meter, then you're not throwing a lot of water down the drain that you're paying for, so it's a real advantage that way. If you want to have a look, and if you want to work out how long your resin's going to last you, have a look on the Gardener website. I think they've got a resin calculator, so you put in your parts per million of water going into it, and it will tell you how long your resin will last for your DI bottle. There are different size DI bottles available. This is an 11 litre. You can get smaller. The one I've got in on my filter is a 25 litre, so I wanted one that would need as little maintenance as possible, so I got as big as one as I could. So the disadvantages are that, as I said, if your water level, if your impurities in your water are high, you use a lot of resin, which is quite expensive, so it's a much more expensive method of using. And also it takes a lot more time in maintenance. Every time your ppm starts to go up, you have to change the resin, which can be quite time consuming if you're doing it regularly. So that was just a quick sum up of the two main systems of purifying water for your window cleaning. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you got any comments, or questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. If you're not already done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel and take a look at all the other playlists I've got there. There's quite a bit there, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.